I believe that there's much to be learned from cheerleaders and salespeople when it comes to learning how to tap into energy. And that's what the next book is about, How to Tap Your Hidden Sources of Energy by Elmer Wheeler. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Daisy, your hostess. To our subscribe community and newcomers, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this book and extract some golden nuggets, as I usually say. Before I get started, a little bio on Elmer Wheeler. He was known nationally and internationally as Mr. Zizzle and the greatest salesperson in the world. Wheeler spent 10 years of his life selling newspaper ads. He started as a reporter but lost his job during the Great Depression of 1929. His boss said all he needed were salesmen. So Wheeler, who was skilled at creating newspaper ads, took a deeper look at why his ads were not turning to sales, and visited his clients' stores during promotions and noticed that none of the salespeople in the store knew how to sell. So this is where he comes in. He began experimenting with devising word combinations that make people buy. And this led to the creation of the Wheeler Word Laboratory, the first and only business wherein spoken words and sales techniques were developed and tested. If you have heard the saying, "Don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle," well, guess what? That slogan became his business philosophy, wherein over 125 universities, business schools, and individuals began teaching the Sizzle Lab methods. Not just standard businesses, but also the Air Force and the Marine Corps use his methods in recruiting. I believe he used his sense of humor to capitalize on weight loss and weight gain because as his speaking engagements doubled, so did his weight, and he put himself on a self-imposed diet and lost 40 pounds, and then he wrote the book, The Fat Boy's Book. Funny thing that he received thousands of letters from newspaper syndication of The Fat Boy's Book, which immediately doubled in speaking engagements, and then guess what? He regained the 40 pounds and had to write The Fat Boy's Downfall. So either way, he was capitalizing on the weight gain and the weight loss and his ability to use word combinations that invoked and inspired people to go and purchase and buy what he was selling. So with that, let's learn what he has to share here in this book titled How to Tap Hidden Sources of Energy from Mr. Salesman himself. Sit back and enjoy. How to Tap Your Hidden Sources of Energy by Elmer Wheeler. A quote by Aldous Huxley. Every man who knows how to read has it in his power to magnify himself, to multiply the ways in which he exists, to make his life full, significant, and interesting. Everyone has a plimsoll mark. The white line you see on cargo ships and many ocean liners is called the plimsoll mark, and tells when the ship is being overloaded. If a load is too heavy, it causes the ship to sink past its white line, and that ship is in a dangerous state. People have plimsoll marks beyond which nerves crack and pep, vitality, vim, and vigor are drowned. A person who has sunk over his own plimsoll mark also is in danger. The favorite expression of modern man is, "I'm bushed." Of modern woman, it is, "I'm worn to a frazzle." Had each been aware of his own plimsoll mark, neither would have had use for such common expressions. The purpose of this book is to help people find their plimsoll marks in life, and in so doing, forestall premature old age, needless worry, fatigue, lack of pep, vitality, and vigor to carry on. By following a few common sense rules, plus some new scientific discoveries, anyone can learn how to remain above his personal plimsoll mark and prolong his lifespan and add happiness and success. As you will see, it is a simple matter to calculate and determine your own plimsoll mark, the point beyond which you should never sink. Elmer Wheeler. Energy, what it is, how to generate more, how to hold what you have to help you get more done in life. The story of Mr. Energy himself. Chapter 1. Some basic rules to help you uncover your hidden energy. His own desire leads every man. It has been said for centuries by all philosophers and medical men that energy is the true and only fountain of youth. If so, then what is energy? How can energy be acquired, harnessed, and made to work for us? Does energy come from bottles or pills? From exercise or thought waves? What is this great force of energy that keeps a person ever youthful, in good health, pepped up, filled with vitality to win success? What generates energy? Can its powers be tapped as you tap water at a spa? One modern school of thought says that energy is developed from within each individual, and much like momentum, once it starts to flow, it keeps right on reproducing itself at length. How often, for example, do you read about a delicate-looking mother of 8, her husband dead, who yet holds several jobs and still has leftover energy to help out worthy causes for friends or community? What is her secret? Certainly it isn't her great physical prowess. She is no Amazon. Often she is very mild-mannered, slender, and short of stature, but her friends always refer to her as a human dynamo who is always getting things done. Was she born with this dynamo inside her, or did she cultivate or manufacture it through necessity to exist? If you want something done, call on her, is the favorite expression of people who know Mrs. Human Dynamo. It is an axiom of old that you should always ask a busy person if you want something done. That person has her momentum up. It is easy for her or him to take on another assignment because the inner motors are in motion. They shift easily into another assignment. Unlike a steel mill, after a layoff, there is no need to stop to fire up the hearth. On the other hand, ask a person sitting idly by to do something. You will need to listen to grunts, grumbles, and lots of alibis why the something asked cannot be done. That person's momentum is down, and he lacks energy, has no pep until prodded into action. Once he gets going in full gear, then you get some action. You might say, therefore, that energy does come from within us, and, like a hoop, once started, will roll along merrily. A person often says, once I get going, I just can't seem to stop. You can relax too much, to a point where your brain, muscles, and energy are soggy, damp-rotted, and will need the barnacles scraped off before you are sailing again under full steam. If you want something done, don't pick on another person snoozing in a hammock. Look around. Pick out a person busy as a bee. That person finds it easy to shift gears quickly into high and will do what you ask of them. What's the explanation? Science offers an explanation. It is that energy can multiply itself much as a worm regenerates when cut. For energy is known to strike up new energy. Energy seems to attract energy as it goes along. As a magnet attracts tacks and nails, in the same way an energetic person attracts other energetic people. Some clocks are like people. Some need to be wound up each 24 hours, yet some go for 8 days, and there's one on the market with indubitable energy that you wind once a year. Some wristwatches now run off batteries. Some have a perpetual automatic wind, just like certain human beings who keep energy wound up constantly. That perhaps is the best person to be, one with energy that is automatically wound up. Some folks get underway in a hurry. Others must piddle around for an hour or so to generate energy to get going. What does the first person have that keeps his motors running that the other person lacks? And can this slow mover take a pill, some exercise, or get a charge of something and have this same energy? We'll soon see the answers. How to lower tension. Speed makes energy. That fact is conceded by science and proved by the automobile. which gains energy as it gains speed. So the person ever rushing around an office, busy as a traffic officer, seems to gain energy in direct ratio to his motions. Make funny faces. You are tied in tension knots, aging by the hour. Don't reach for a tranquilizer or rush off to a psychoanalyst. Instead, make funny faces at yourself in a mirror. You'll look so ridiculous, you'll be forced to break your tension, scowl, and laugh at yourself, and laughter unwinds more nerves than a spa. Sound silly? Well, nerves are sillier. You might say then that to have energy to get things done is to have a self-starter, so that when action is needed, the body doesn't huff and puff, stammer, cough, choke down until it warms up. Energy people need a little warming up. They've kept their motors purring in low gear for the moment when they need that burst of speed. Relaxing is good, for tension is lowered. Doctors like this in overactive people, but this can be overdone to a point where relaxation is next to slow dying. Even heart attack victims are told to exercise mildly. Relax on and off, yes, but keep some fires burning. Relaxation will replenish the battery, but too much relaxation causes the battery to drain completely out. You can atrophy if you stop all activity. Keep the pot at a low boil at all times. There's no tired bug. Is tiredness, the opposite of energy, a disease? It can be, of course, due to a virus, a breakdown, but more often it is brought on by laziness, lack of interest or desire. There is no such bug as a tired bug, with few exceptions such as the bug tsetse fly that causes African sleeping sickness. This isn't prevalent in America, so if you are tired all of the time and the doctor finds no chronic ailment, forget the idea you are a victim of a tired virus. It is perhaps more mental tiredness from boredom than physical. Your doc can tell if you are a rare case of sleeping sickness, encephalitis. 5 ways to feel young and energetic. 1. Listen to beautiful music. 2. Get a change of scenery. 3. Tell an amusing yarn. 4. Recall childhood memories. 5. Buy a new hat or a red necktie. Tiredness is a common ailment, as common as the cold. However, while the common cold is still a mystery as to cause, tiredness is not so mysterious. Some people actually get tired watching others work. That is, if the work is something they don't like. That looks like fun, says a tired person, and soon is bursting with energy as he does what he thinks is fun. You might well say, then, that to overcome tiredness, do things you enjoy, like, or think are fun. It's a good rule to follow. You will suddenly find that you have energy, pep, and vitality if you are happy doing what you enjoy, and you don't feel the energy flowing out of you. That is why a tired person often has energy on a golf course, playing gin rummy or painting 8 hours a day, things that to you might be hard work. So look around you for what pleases you to do, and you won't feel tired out. Do this for more energy. Energetic people have learned one thing in common. Too much rest stiffens muscles and thoughts. Any day laborer knows that if he leans too long and too often on his shovel, he stiffens and the work becomes harder and the day longer. Writers know that if they force themselves to do a chapter a day, they aren't mentally worn out. But skip a few days and you'll hear them grumble, "I just can't seem to get going." True, their brain has lost its momentum. So take yourself by your mental britches and force yourself to do a little something every day to keep muscles and brain oiled up and in smooth order. For work does generate energy. Step up your work, and you step up your energy to want to do work. Can pep reproduce pep? Does pep reproduce itself? So much in life does reproduce itself that scientists have often wondered if pep has this innate power. It has. Pep, spelled either way, is still pep, P-E-P. It is a slang expression for energy, which spelled backward is I green. And this means nothing except that energy can be spelled backwards. Not with pep. It spells itself the same way, just like 1961 spells itself the same upside down. And the word now, spelled backwards, means one. All of which uncorrelated material is of human interest, but doesn't add to your energy. One way it might add is that to start now on a project, then PEP will spell one later, for action begets action, and to start now on a project will ensure that soon you will have PEP spelled forwards or backwards. It is said too that many a 99-year-old person who conserves his energy can easily at times turns himself upside down and his age reads 66. It's your attitude. These are fascinating ideas and questions. For everyone wants more energy, and energy comes from PEP, and PEP can be self-energized just as one magnet makes magnets of all other metals of its kind, which it contacts. Doctors will claim time and again that your attitude of keeping your mind off troubles and on things to do stimulates energy, gives vitality, and adds to your vigor. So find the right attitude. That may be another rule to get things done. The right attitude does put a person into a better frame of mind and provokes his best work. You haven't the right attitude towards your job, says the boss. That is why your work is shoddy. And nothing could be truer. Your attitude makes or breaks your job, makes the job seem harder and more difficult, or an easy pushover. Salesmen with the attitude that they're just selling between jobs make poor salesmen. Every sales manager knows this, and that is why each will tell you, give me a man or woman with the right attitude toward a sales job, and I'll teach them the art of selling. If you haven't a desire, a feeling, an attitude toward your life's work, change the work. Get into something you like and enjoy, and you'll have a different outlook on the job. It won't be a job. It will be something you enjoy, and you'll have the energy and pep to handle it. People who like their work often have the vitality to work deep into the night. If what they do is unpleasant to them, they can't wait until the whistle blows for the day's end. They drop their tools in a pepless way, yet an hour later they have plenty of pep. They are bowling, playing golf, or running a lawnmower in their yard, things they get a kick out of doing. Even the lame and the halt have energy, and while they may be inactive in a physical way, they are active in a mental way. For energy need not be a physical movement. It can be mental movement. Thoughts can fly fast as feet. Energetic thinkers have a lively group around their armchair or wheelchair, while the lazy thinker, the gossip, the self-interested never find listeners for long. So they slump into lassitude and soon into plain pepless people. They are avid readers of patent medicine ads that read, "For pale and pepless people." Laziness breeds lassitude. So you say you weren't born with pep. Your physical framework is not that of an atlas. You just haven't the framework to carry your energy, for you are a battery too small for the assignment. This may or may not be true. Often the smallest person has the most pep. But assuming you do have inborn handicaps of movement, then you keep up with others by an art in conserving energy, letting it flow through a smaller outlet like a hose that has a narrow outlet and because of which spurts farther, even though it sends out less water. Conserving your energy is a part of any study of getting things done in life, and one trick you will soon see is to arrange your daily work pattern to save energy. A person who spins his wheels doing nothing gets as far as an electric fan that buzzes on the wall, making much noise, but getting nowhere off the wall. Studies show that a pound of energy saved in footsteps totals more than a pound of energy, for it compounds itself like a savings account. The woman who makes too many kitchen movements, who rushes aimlessly back and forth, makes no better cake, yet is tired at the end of the day. There is an art in saving steps, an art in giving assignments to the children at her feet so that there is lack of hit and miss confusion, which is why the mother of 8 children often has the energy of a person with nothing to do and all day to do it. Laziness breeds lassitude. Action develops energy. A battery, let alone too long, peters out. The same with people. They must be in motion, or else they become rickety in bone and brain. How not to age. Ever watch a newly retired person walk down a street? He is probably an avid window shopper. All day and nothing to do but window shop, or buttonhole cronies and jabber with them. The retiree no longer has a target in life, so he gets old right in front of you. Yet, if he had a daily target, he'd be young, energetic, and have no time to saunter in front of a store windows. The retiree's step would be faster, more sure, and straighter. Try to have a retirement target in life. Then keep your eyes on the target and you'll find happiness. Your best years. These are but a few answers to why some people have energy and get things done, yet others never can finish what they're doing. As chapter after chapter unfolds, you'll find the answers to why one person has pep, another has a bottle of pep pills. Science can tell you what to do and how to do it to keep your personal fountain of youth bubbling. Well, perhaps not as you were at 25, but certainly as you were in the mid-years of your life. The mind never gets old unless it becomes inactive. Churchill proved this, so did Ford, so did Steinmetz, and others who, in late years, were more active than in their mid-years. The best years of a person are late in life, when that person still appreciates life. Here is a summary of your first rules to energy, the science of getting things done. Rule 1. Don't let your inner fires go completely out. Keep some sparks banked for quick firing up. Always keep a tiny flame under the pot for fast firing up of energy. Do this by having many interests, desires, pleasures in life. For all are good self-starters to get you going in a hurry when the occasion calls for action. Rule 2. Overcome tiredness by doing things you like and that give you personal pleasure. In finding personal pleasure, you lighten the day load and the journey is shorter. In this way, you automatically discover latent energy, abundance of it, a true fountain of youth. Rule 3. PEP reproduces itself. Spelled either way, it still spells P-E-P, PEP. To get things done, do them now. For now, spelled backwards, is 1. People who do things right off don't tire out prematurely worrying about doing the job. Thus, energy is conserved, for worrying about something is often more tiresome than doing it. Rule number 4. Force yourself daily to do a little something, then your body and brain won't stiffen, get rusty, even atrophy. Presidents Hoover and Eisenhower are old men who have the energy of youth because they are constantly occupied. Many a youth is old, stiff, and creaky because he has nothing to do. Busy people prolong their lifespan, as anyone at the Great Mayo Clinic will tell you. Rule number 5. Learn the great trick of conserving energy, and that is by not just spinning wheels. The noisy bus fan on the wall gets nowhere. All it does is shoot the breeze, wasting energy through gossip, giving forth with alibis and excuses for not doing something, eats energy like acid. Take time to be friendly, but not to complain. Rule number 6. Sidestep retirement death by having something to do, a target in life. Keep your eye on that target, be it ever so small, for busy minds never age. People lacking a target walk aimlessly down streets, window shopping. Lost souls looking for something to do. A good hobby or civic project can serve as a retirement target to keep the bones oiled up and the brain pliable. Chapter Success Story. Several years ago, Jorgen Jensen was drudging away in a coffee percolator business, tired and pepless, aging by the percolator, you might say. He had one desire that pepped him up, the desire to see the movie Gone with the Wind. It was then playing 400 miles away in Stockholm, Sweden. Exhibitors in Denmark, where Jensen worked, couldn't pay the high rental costs and this expensive Hollywood production, so Jensen wasn't the only Dane who wanted to see the picture. Jensen made the picture his life's target. While selling percolators was work to him, the hard task of raising money to get to Sweden was pleasure. Jensen finally sold his hard work percolator business, scraped up more money, went to Stockholm, and convinced a distributor that all of Denmark wanted to see the picture, and why not move the movie closer to Denmark? He convinced the producer to show the movie in Landskrona, a small Swedish seaport on the strait dividing the two countries just 15 miles from Copenhagen. He rushed back home, rented a 300-passenger boat, which he renamed Scarlett O'Hara, set up booths on the dock, and sold movie tickets to include the boat trip across the strait to see Gone with the Wind. Jensen suddenly lost his worried look that was making an old man of him. He had uncovered a hidden energy he never realized he had. The boat trip appealed as much to the Danes as did the movie, and it wasn't long before energetic Jensen owned the boat, then a second boat. The trip, I have taken it, soon served finest foods and even had a style show given by alert merchants of Copenhagen. Jensen now employs 250 other people, all having fun with an idea and gaining new energy because they are doing what gives them pleasure and making money at it. Each has found that pep generates pep, that energy generates energy. They have found a V for victory in health, V for vim, V for vigor, V for vitality. Chapter thought. Tiredness is not a disease. It does not come from a virus. It comes from boredom, a lack of interest, a need for a goal, a target in life. The big secret to get others to do the talking so you can conserve energy. My grandfather Strobel had a big trick in saving his own energy by letting others do the talking while he sat relaxed doing the listening. He learned the listener's expert trick to bend a little closer while others talked. That is, he leaned toward them mentally by telegraphing through an intent look on his face, a ready smile, a quick nod of agreement that he was listening with full two-eared attention. He knew one thing: be a good listener first and a good talker second, so that when a talker ran out of conversation, grandfather got him going all over again. He did this with 5 magic words. Then what did you do? This started the talker off again, and when he finally wound up and left, he'd say to himself, "There's a great conversationalist," meaning my silent but energetic grandfather. Yet he had done all of the talking. Grandfather lived to a peppy 80, for he discovered how to tap his hidden sources of energy. End of chapter. I'll meet you at the next video for chapter 2.